this is the third tutorial in the Kangaroo series. Today we will look at mesh relaxation, um, and we'll look at a few examples of what that's doing. So let's get started. What we will do is, first things first, we'll just make uh, some basic cuboids. Let's make one more. Let's intersect this one here. And we'll intersect another one, and you can make kind of whatever shape you like. I'm just doing this one to start testing this. We'll bring this one up a bit. Okay, so the way we bring this geometry in, we will use brep, set multiple breps, select all of them, and then I'm going to select all the ones in Rhino and just press hide. So all we see is the geometry from Grasshopper. The next thing I will do is a solid union, because I want to join all these geometries. So then you can see it's giving me one closed brep. Preview off on this one. Um, yeah, and then just to compare geometries, I will move this over and I'll go in the X direction. Let's go by 20 units. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. Next thing we will do is there's a few ways we can go about doing this. So I have preview mesh is on right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is uh, I could actually turn this into a mesh brep, or I could actually use new components inside Grasshopper. For example, try remesh is one. So let's delete this one and then we'll dig geometry into this. So you can see how it kind of triangulates things for me. We'll actually keep this one on. Turning on bifocals. Okay. So you can see how it triangulates the geometry for me. So this is something you need. You need the geometry, the mesh geometry subdivided for this case. So there's a lot of different features on here. You can do some research, and we can try to explain all of these as well, but we'll kind of stick to the topic right now. So sharp, preserve sharp features. I want yes, yeah. So I'll keep it sharp. I'll keep it true, and then length. Let's go somewhere between 0.3 to 1. So what we're trying to say here is the edge length of these triangles. This is where it kind of needs to be. Give this a moment. 2.5 to 5. Okay, so 1.25 seems to do what we needed to do. The next thing we will do is we'll also have a look at quad remesh. So this is another one. This gives us quads instead of triangles. And all of these geometries can be, further manipulated. So here you can see how it's just a nice, clean, quad remeshed geometry. And then there's settings in here as well that you can play with to remesh this. I believe they're called quad remesh settings. You can play with this and really customize your mesh in that sense, especially when you need to rebuild something for fabrication. For now, we will keep this off. We will exclusively work with the try remesh for now. So let's start. So this is the mesh we're going to relax. Let's start building our kangaroo component. So for this purpose, we will use the bouncy solver. So first things first, let's add a button, and we will add 0.95 for damping. We'll also add 20 under iterations. We just want this to iterate more. And then we will add another Boolean toggle for the on-off button. And then on this side, we'll add a panel just to check for the iterations. And then we will also add a data component for the output, from which we will take only the mesh. You could always go just directly mesh into it, but I kind of like to keep it a little bit organized. Um, and then after mesh, we will do combine and clean. So this cleans list of meshes, removing unused and duplicate vertices. So it essentially cleans up your mesh. Okay, like these, and then let's group this for now. Control G for group, and then let's start building our goals. So the first one we will bring in is edge length for the merge component. Okay, edge length. The next one we will actually bring in is anchor, because if we're going to relax this mesh, it has to have somewhere to hang off, in a sense. Um, and then we'll also bring, let's see, mesh naked vertices. Okay. And then what we need to do is from this brep, we need to actually extract um, our naked edges, or we need to extract those outermost edges. So what we will do is first we will deconstruct brep, and then we'll take the vertices and we will move them, and we will move them by the same unit X that's happening here, because we wanted to all move together. Um, so this gives us uh, the vertices from this BREF, and we will for now put this into the points, and we will bring in the triangulated mesh into um, just a moment, into the edge lengths, and then let's say length factor. Right now it's from 1.5 to 1, so we'll just leave it at this for now. We will add this show component, actually bring this into the merge as well, so we actually see what's going on. So what we will do now is we'll turn the length factor of the edge lengths down to about 0.5, let's say, and you can play with this as well as long as you're kind of trying to tighten up the mesh. And we'll hide this tri mesh. Just make sure just the important things are showing. We'll hide all of these, and let's just press this button, and then we'll start. Yeah, so once the simulation starts, you can see how it starts to relax the mesh. So we're going to try one more thing here really quickly. We will turn on our original. Just go show, brings this back. What we will do here is we will press Shift and Control and just select some of the faces that we want to delete. Just some of the faces we want to delete. Just picking these faces, so press Delete. Then we'll see what this does. So let's turn this on. Yeah. So you see how the relaxation is, it's a bit different this time. It's just this outside mesh that it's doing. But once we do that, the other thing we can do is we can actually now use this naked vertices component. So we can simply take the tri-ray mesh. First, we will do a combine and clean. And then we'll take this into mesh here for naked vertices, and then we'll pick the naked points and put that into point instead of this. So let's just look at what that's actually doing. So if we put naked points in here, so you can see how it's actually picking these outside naked points. We will preview off on this one. And let's begin. And here, now you can see that instead of using just the corner points, it's actually using the points on those open faces. And then you can play with the edge length. So let's say if we make this 0.2, it starts to pull it in even more. Okay, so that's the lesson for mesh relaxation using Kangaroo. And then there's one more type that we will have a look at very quickly. And that's called a multi-pipe component. So let's say if you have, we'll just build a tree. And randomly move the points up to the side a little bit if you want. Add one here. And then we'll select all of these and we'll bring it in as a curve component. Set multiple curves, and then you can use what's known as a multi-pipe component. Put your curves in there, node size, so right now it's got 0.5. So what this does is it actually uses sub-D to create a multi-pipe on this. So node size, let's go between 0.0 to 1 to, let's say, 5. Okay, and then we'll just increase this a bit. And then let's play with the strut size. So right now it's 1. Bring this down. Yeah, we'll just do that. Okay, and then if you want to convert this to mesh, we'll go mesh from sub D. Okay, and then what we'll do is we're going to make a copy of this, bring it down. moment. I'm going to disable this in the meantime. So instead of BREP, we'll actually have mesh going straight into move. So we're not using these anymore, not using this. And in this case, we will actually use the quad remesh. So I'm going to remesh this. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to leave this at default settings, and I will just take everything from triangulation. So press Shift Control and then move all the arrows here, and then let's see what happens. Like this, yeah. Let's turn this back on. It's really squeezing it through, so let's maybe turn this into 1. Press the reset button, maybe 0.75. So here we start to see a bit of relaxation. Maybe 0.5. So you can play with some of these settings. So the bigger the multipipe gets, I believe in this case at least, maybe what we can test is max. We'll take it up to 10, just for the sake of this. Move this up. Move up the strut size as well. Well, here now we start to see a lot more effect. And then if we just want to add some graphics here, what we can do is use the gradient tool. Let's use a different preset. Actually, not even. Let's go deconstruct mesh. And then we will reconstruct mesh. Construct mesh. Vertices, faces, and for colors, we take normals. Rendered view. There you go. And then if we actually go into display and then turn off preview mesh edges, it just gives you a clean color. There you go, mesh relaxation.